Jumping to the server side controller, in this session we'll focus on the attributes first. Attributes in lightning aura component. Okay. So attributes are the variables. Variables means similar to the Apex class, as we have created attributes to store the values. Like let's say if you want to store the name or email, phone, or address. So we have declared the attributes like public string my name, private string my email, public date my dob. Similar to that, as we can create, or we have created the attributes in Apex. Now we'll create the attributes in lightning aura component. So here in aura, syntax is slightly different. How it will act: it will start with aura namespace attribute, then name of the attribute. Let's say if you want to declare or you want to store the value of my name, okay, then you will put the name, then again you will put the type, and access you can define, let's say whatever you have given, public or private. Similar to that, we will declare the attribute aura. It's same. Just to explain you, I'm just relating it by creating attribute in both mode, in Apex class, in aura. So this type is coming here, sorry, here string, public type is coming in access, and name of the attribute is coming here. So it's similar to that, nothing changed. So let's define some attributes first. We'll try to give some value by default values, and then we'll print those. Go to the developer console. Now we'll create another component, lightning component aura attributes comp. That's my component name. And here I will define my attributes. So before that, let me put the comments. Defining aura attributes. So here, let's say I want to store or display my name, or let's say my personal details. I will start with aura attribute name of the attribute my name, type string. By default, accessibility of all the attributes will be public, so it's up to you. If you want to restrict, you can put private, else keep default, no problem. Let me put some default value. Similarly, as we can assign the default value for our Apex attributes, we can assign here as well. Another is our attribute, let's say my email, training dot grovia at gmail.com. My bad, I need to put the name, I had put the value. Okay, name, I need to put name, my email, type, probably we can put email as well, we'll see, else string. Access private email. Let me save it first. Okay, so we have defined the attributes. Now we'll display those first. Let me define one div, my name. So how to get the values from the attributes? This is slightly different in Aura. As let's say we have declared any attribute in Apex class, so we were directly using the formula expressions on VF page to display those. So here what we will use, we'll use the attribute and we'll use value provider. So here value provider will be our v dot attribute name, v dot again my email. So if I still comment this, I won't get any output. So first let me see, let me show you without output, and let me define the header. SLDS dash page dash header. So now I need to put this component in my application which I have created. So I can like put multiple components in the same application. I don't need to create applications again and again. So I'll go to my application here. I will comment the first one because we have already completed first component. Now I will put my next component C colon component name. Component name is Aura. Okay, now let me see the output. It's loading. So how to define lightning attributes? We are not getting the data. Reason is I have commented that code. Now I'll unblock that portion to see the data. I will again preview it. So we are getting the data here, my name and my email, but that is coming in the same line. So let me put it in new lines. So again, if I want to break this, I'll use BR. Okay, we are getting this in two different lines. Now let me bold that label. So how we can bold the label? Either we can use B tag or we can use strong tag. Not a string, it's a strong. Again, let me refresh it. So we are getting this as a label. Labels are strong and value is normal. Name, my name Salesforce Kumar sir, and my email training.groovy@gmail.com. So this is something the default value which I have provided. Even though I can change these values, means when I'm loading the component, I can call my JS function, and in JS function I can assign the different values to these attributes. So let's see how, if we need to do that, how we can. First I need to define the function in my JS. So This is my JS function. I'll put the name, that is, let's say update default values. That's my JS function name. Update values. How I need to make a call? I will use aura handler. Name will be init. Value will be this, and action will be my JS function name. C dot function. So let's say if I want to override this here, that means I need to set my attribute values. Then only I will be able to override. So whatever the attributes I have defined on the component, I need to get those value, those attributes first in JS, and need to set. So directly how we can set the values, we use this reference. As I said, this component is basically providing instance of the component in JavaScript. Means with the help of this, we will be going to use or refer our properties. So we'll use component dot set, means we want to set the value. V dot, again attribute name, so whatever the attribute you want to fetch, say my name, and whatever value you want to replace with. Same thing is for the email. V dot my email, Ravi dot Kumar at Grovia dot. That's my official email, which I had put it here. Now I will see the updated values. Let me refresh it. So we are getting the updated values here. Means it's overriding the default values, whatever the values we have given there.
This conference will now be recorded.
How to display contact records, maybe contact account or opportunity, any object you can take on UI in or a component. So for that we need to create steps. If I define create or a component, call JS function, create Apex class, define a method in Apex to return list of contacts, include your server side controller in component, call Apex method from JS to get the response. So these are the basic steps which I have written here. I will be following the same steps to get the data. So now let's create the component. So to create the another component, file new lightning component, display contact records com. That's my lightning component, lightning aura, and that's my JS. Let me create one Apex class as well. Okay, so I have to include this component, this Apex class in my Aura component in similar way as we have done in VF pages. So to put any Apex class in VF pages, we were using one keyword that was controller. So same we will use here. Controller equals to class name. So and let's define one method, public static. It will return list of contact. So return type will be contact list, uh, get contacts, and I'll put the simple query, return select id comma name comma email comma phone from contact and limit 10. So to give the access of this method to the Aura, we have to put one annotation. Otherwise, this function won't be visible there. So to make it visible, we will be going to use at the rate Aura enabled. So that's my annotation. By putting this function can be called in Aura experience now. Most important part is this. Here, when I will make the server call, this is important. 4 to 5 lines of code only, but it will create the impact. So let me change this name as well. Load contact records, and here I will first call apex function. Here I will use where action, because I'm going to make the action call. You can put any name. Action can be my action, your name, my apex class method name, class name, whatever you want you can put. Just for the standards, I'm putting action component dot get. What we need to get, we need to get the server side method, the method name, c dot function name. So we have two value providers. We talk about value providers. We have v and c. So whenever you are interacting with the attributes or attributes which you have declared, we will be going to use v. And whenever you want to interact with the function controller method, c stands for, that's a c is the value provider. But whenever you are making any call, maybe javascript function call or maybe server side function call, we need to use c dot function name, v dot attribute name for the attributes variables which you have declared, and c dot function name for all the methods. Maybe you are making the js call from component side, or you are making the server call from the js controller. Now I will get the response. I need to put it in callback to retrieve the data. Set the callback to get the response. How to do that? Action dot set callback. This is standard and process. This dot function. You need to write one attribute name. You can write the standard keyword we use response here. You can use your name, your neighbor's name, your class name, anything is fine. Inside this, we will be going to first check the state, whether we are getting the error state or the success state. So we can have two state values, either that can be your error or that can be your success. So let's get the state first. We are defining another attribute, We will use to get all the values this attribute. You can use resp rather than response. Whatever you will put, whatever name you will choose here, you will be going to use that instance. So it will be going to provide the instance or the response from your server. Dot get state. So let's say if this state is success, if states equal to success, if we are getting the success, that means we will get the response here. So where list contacts equals to resp that attribute dot get return value. That's the function which we are using. We can alert it or we can use console.log. Let's say else means if not success, it will be error. We can put some alert. Something went wrong. Please contact to your system admin. At the end, we will be going to enqueue it. $a dot enqueue action, and the same attribute we will put action. So we use this enqueue action to keep it live. Means when we are making the call, so it will be going to work as a asynchronously, but give you the response synchronously. Means you can make certain more calls. Like you are calling right now one function, one server side function. You can also call another server side function from this function. So in those kind of transactions, we need to enqueue those. So there's a process to enqueue those to keep the transaction live. Now let me call this function and to check the output. Or attribute name, this name, and type. I can either put type like contact array, or if I don't want to use this contact array, you can directly put list. It will automatically typecast that. But before that, I need to make a call or a use a handler name equals to init, value equals to this, and action will be c dot, because I'm making the server, making the JS call, again function. Let's save it. So this will call the JS function, and here we are calling the server side function. If everything is okay, I will get the response. Let me check it here, console.log. It will give me like what value I have got in this state. Let's, and I need to put this component here as well in my application. C colon component name. So component name is display records. I'll copy this. I'll append aura at the end, not aura comp. If component name is correct, it will save, otherwise it will ask to change. Now let's refresh it. So we will get the data if everything is fine. So let's inspect it because I have used console.log, not the alert. So we have got the success, means we were able to make the connection with server successfully. That is returning the response. So right now, if you see, that is in the object form. So we have to serialize that into the string form from the object. We have serialization and deserialization in JavaScript as well. So now go back to your component where I'll convert that data into the string format. So we have one tag JSON dot stringify. Put your list in that and that's closed. Refresh it, you'll get the result. I'll again inspect it to see the data. If everything is all right, I'll get the response. So you can see, right? We have got the response here. Like that data is coming in the string format. Now I will be going to take that data to the component UI. All right. Okay. Now what I'll do, let's go to the component. So I have declared one attribute that is contact list. I will assign this response into this attribute. Whichever response I am getting from the server, I'll set it. And how to set? I will use one attribute here, component dot set v dot attribute and comma that attribute name which I want to set. I will iterate the data here. So to iterate the data in via pages, we had used page block tables we use, or either page block table, or we can also use data tables. So here we have aura iteration. Aura iteration, it will accept two parameter, items and value. So like similarly we provide value and where in page block tables. Here we will provide items and where. Items equals to v dot contact list attribute where you are getting the data, where equals to, let's say, con instance. Now inside this I will be going to display the details of contact. Let's say name con dot name which I'm getting, con dot phone, email con dot email. Let's save it and see it. I'll refresh it. That data should come here on the UI now. If there is no hiccups, it will come. else if there is any mismatch or any error it won't. So we are getting the data here, you can see. Okay, now it's coming in a same kind of column, you can say. We can put it in a different columns as well. So we have different ways to put it. Let me like put it in tables. We can create the table, we can create the column and row. I'll show you very quickly how we can use those. So let me create the table. So if you are aware about the table, it's good. Else you can learn on any site how to create tables. Then there will be one row. Inside one row, there will be three columns. TD, one is name, phone, email, and another row I will create inside this because I need to iterate over the records. So that will go inside the iteration. Here, as number of as records we have, we will create the number of rows. Phone, email, saved. Let me create a duplicate of that. Now this time data will come in the form of row and columns. So alignment is not that appropriate, but data is coming in form of row and columns. So we can put that alignment. So I have to put that iteration inside the, I have to put the row inside the iteration. Rest of the things it will automatically take care. Okay, we have got the data now. So this is how we can add row and columns into the data to display. And here let me recap it quickly what I have done and how I have done. So the task was, assignment was to display the contact records on UI in Aura component. So for that, first I have to create the Aura component. I have created that. Then I have to create my Apex class to define the Apex method to return contact list of contact or contact records which it was returning. And then I have linked my Apex class with the component with the help of controller keyword. I'm making the JS call when I'm loading the component same time. And inside this JavaScript function, I'm making the server call. So what I'm doing here, I'm getting the instance of the server, making the call of our function, whichever function you want to call, you need to write the function name, c dot function name. And again you have to put it in the callback because we need to get the data. So your that instance will return you either success or error. Success means whatever the response your method is returning, you will get it. We have two functions for that. Get state means it will always give you the state which can be either success or error, and get return will value will actual return you the type of method. So means whatever the method actually is returning you, it will return the same. So our method is returning list of contacts. So similarly This get written value will give you the list of contacts. And here I have set those at I'm setting those attribute those that list into the contact list. This is my aura component attribute which I have declared. I'm using component.set the value which I'm getting from the server list contacts. So directly either you can do this, or if you want to still optimize this, means you want to reduce the line of code, you can directly put it here. Still it will work. So 3 to line of 4 lines of code is this. Now if I refresh it, I will get the same result. Let me refresh.